Welcome to Mating Abyss, Season 1. Let me introduce the main cast. We have Rico, a sunflower type character, curious as doesn't take punishment seriously. Reg, a half-human, half-robot hybrid, the opposite of Rico. They lived in a city called Orf, where the most popular job is to be a cave raider. You enter a giant of hole called the Abyss in search for precious relics. The depth is unknown but is dependent on the different classes of cave raiders. Red Whistle, trash. Blue Whistle, you are okay. Moon Whistle, assistant to the regional manager. Black Whistle, you are good. White Whistle, the journey to the center of the earth is the limit. We start off with Rico and Nate going on a search for relics. Nate is convinced that there aren't any rarer items left, so he tells Rico to keep the star compass to herself. Okay, I'll let Rico explain what will happen if she did that. The f is going on? Rico found some weird artifacts and proceeds to lift a slab of concrete, revealing a skeleton. She then carries a sack full of relics searching for Nate, where out of nowhere a flying slug appears and is going to eat Nate. So she blows her whistle to get the aggro onto her. The flying slug chases her to a cliff. Oh whoa, isn't that the... She was saved by a Hadouken blasted across the forest by an unconscious Iron Man. Rico then carried him and meet up with Nate to head back to the orphanage. They were startled by their friend Shaggy asking, "What the f is that?" For plot convenience. Nick checks the entrance and it's guarded by the director. So Shaggy signals Kiwi to create some distraction by dropping a book from the balcony. Again, then sneaks in undetected. The next morning, their leader reads the report for the stuff they have excavated. After that, the director has some words to say. "Listen up, bitch. There's just one thing I have to say. Whistle is important, and it's strictly forbidden to keep relics for yourself. Shut the f up." Piss of sh*. You're just kids, you bastard. The class ends. Nate asked Rico what she's gonna do about Iron Man. So they went to Rico's room and Tesla coiled the f out of him. They're excited to see him awake, but is cut short after Shaggy informing them that they've destroyed the lights throughout the orphanage. So Leader is coming over to Rico's room to see what she's up to. Rico hides Iron Man under the blanket, but when Leader reveals it, he disappears to the ceiling. So Leader drags Rico out to write an apology letter, which gives Iron Man the chance to check out his balls and questions the necessity. Rico then sneaks out with Iron Man before getting caught by the leader. She gave Iron Man the name Reg from a dog she used to have. They then went to see the sunset over the great city Orf with a massive of hole in the middle called the Abyss, which is 1,000 meters in diameter with an unknown depth. The next night, Rico introduces a star compass that leads you to the depths of the Abyss. To be honest, that's a bit it's a massive hole. The only way to go is down. Anyways, the nerd explains the effect of descending to different levels. Level 1, dizziness. Level 2, nausea, headaches, and numbness. Level 4, intense pain and bleeding out of every orifice. Level 6 and beyond, loss of humanity and or death. He also brought a relic book. Rico got excited when the page with the unheard bell is flipped to, shoving her face onto Reg, telling him that her mom found that Shaggy asked Rico to fill him in on the features of Reg, and the report mostly went like this. He's basically immortal. Oh yeah, and he has a real Shaggy theorized that Reg is a special great relic, so he's gonna be dismantled if found. So they devise a plan to get him into the orphanage to work as a cave raider. Next day, Reg bullshit his way into the orphanage. 2 months has passed from the day he joined. Rico returned from cave raiding and drags Reg to see Hubble and her legendary mother, Liza. But her mother is not in sight. There's only a whistle and an envelope which is given to Rico. Leader appears and talks to Rico about Liza, like she's his mentor but is also a hard-headed alcoholic with a bad diet. If she wasn't a white whistle, then she would have been a crazy bitch. He also explains that Rico's headache is a curse from the Abyss because she was born there. Liza was pregnant with Rico in the Abyss, where a battle began between a group of foreign cave raiders. They won, but Rico's father died in battle. In the midst of all this, Rico was born. Liza tries to protect her using a curse-repelling vessel, but can't ward off all the curses, so Rico has to wear crystal lens glasses to stop the headache. Lastly, Leader gave some encouraging words to Rico and she's off to the orphanage to do some chores. Halfway through, she was told that she's able to open the envelope at the headquarters, and so she rushes off. Reg was told to go after her. At the headquarters, the contents of the envelope is placed all over the table. Rico and Reg were caught off guard by a Reg lookalike depicted on the guide with a short letter reading, Here are some of the other depictions. A 2-meter tall, 7-tailed scorpion. That's just bad evolution. That dude doesn't even have a pincer. How is it gonna defend or grab anything? Now, this creature grows while stealing its eggshell, which is pretty cool. But don't mind me asking, is this armadillo snapping turtle looking ass dude 30 meters tall? Holy f. I mean, it rains iron, so it kind of makes sense. Now, at night, Riko discusses a decision to descend into the depths of the abyss to look for her mother, but Nate is against the idea and starts a fight with Riko. The next day, Reg begins his first cave raiding. He dug up some dirt. By little coaching from Nate, he starts finding some junk relic. And while looking for some more in a hole, he got spooked by a skull. Nate took the opportunity to scare Reg even more with stories like, "Did you know, if you look at the mirror at 3 AM during your birthday, Harambe will appear and snap your neck?" Bitch, shut the f. What I want to know is the true nature of this artifact, the cause of the abyss curse, and perhaps the meaning behind my creation. At night, Shaggy asks when will Riko be leaving. She said tomorrow before the daybreak, and out of the blue, Reg says that he will be going too because he wants to know the meaning behind his creation, the true nature of this artifact,
I'll go
the
through
cause
this
of the abyss
window.
curse. Shaggy asks Reg how will he be getting down into the abyss.
Extend me infinite arms in it.
A piece of piss. Amateurs! 1,300 meters down is the edge of the first layer. Mobs from the lower floors comes to feed here. This is the second layer, the forest of temptation. Wind currents are unstable. Savage predators and no helping efforts will ever be sent or will be sent down. Third layer, the great fault. There will be a 4,000 meter cliff in your way. The fourth layer, goblets of giants. Depths, 7,000 meters. Fifth layer, the sea of corpses. The domain of white whistles. Sixth floor, the capital of the unreturned. If a white whistle descended, it's their last dive. Cave raiders are able to send information balloons to the surface, but if it's other than the white whistle, the information are considered as rumors. However, if the voice of the white whistle reaches to the surface, it's considered to be true because the voice of the white whistle is the voice of the abyss. Even if a white whistle dies, his or her life will live on as the voice of the abyss. God damn, real philosophical shit here. Nate then gave Riko a reality check by telling her a yo mama joke. Nate, you gotta work on your punchline there, mate. That really hurts. The time to depart has arrived. Reg lowers Riko and went to say goodbye to not in bed Nate and Kiwi. He got caught by Leader asking him what is he doing, and so Reg replied with, "I'm gonna go take a shit." Together at the street and will be going to Wharf Quarter in the slums, gathered by none other than Nate. Riko and Nate apologizes and forgave each other. On the way, she asked if Nate has been there before. Nate responded with, "I was born there on the streets without any relative or family, so I became a junk-picking scavenging ragman. Fortunately, the orphanage took me in and now I'm here." Now they've arrived at the descending platform. Reg is getting ready and saw an item that he doesn't want to show us. Nate then calls out to Riko and thanked him for getting her here. He starts crying and when he looks up at Riko, she starts crying too, knowing that they will never see each other again. But Riko comforts him by saying that they will be connected through the abyss and will remember all the good times that she has spent here. Now the time has come. They said their last goodbye and descended down into the abyss. Riko wakes up and sees the web contraption that Reg has put up. She wakes him up and walks to the edge of the abyss where it's somehow brighter than the surface. The explanation is that the force field has been distorted so the light is bent downwards and obstructs the view. Riko got excited from the mumbo jumbo but she is hungry, so they boiled a fish and ate it. After the meal, Riko got out the star compass. Reg shakes it but it doesn't move an inch, which makes him question the usefulness of this device. Riko shakes it as well but fumbles it into the river. Rich then remembers the mysterious box that he has and shows it to Riko. It's the guide notes from her mother, but the guide notes are not the original. It's a copy with a note saying, "I'll come and get you," from the one and only Leader. So they descended immediately. But Riko triggered a trap and a giant ant spider appears which conveniently acts as an anchor for them to descend even more to the entrance of the second layer, Forest of Temptation. They rest for a bit before entering, but Reg detected a cave raider heading straight to them, so they tried to shake him off but failed. The man revealed himself to be Habbo, just here to see the supreme relic for the last time. Reg's balls. He explains that he's not here to capture them but is here to guide them into the second layer, a favor from Shaggy and Nate. Riko declines, saying that it's their final lesson from Leader, showing Habbo the box and the note. Habbo accepts and gives her an antidote for the second layer sickness and some leftover bread. Lastly, there will be a seeker camp at the bottom of the second layer where a white whistle named Ozen occupies. She's the one that carried the baby Riko together with Liza to the surface. For personal reasons, he can't explain why to be aware of her, but just to be aware, that's it. And so they head off and descend into the second layer. On the way to seeker camp, Reg heard a call for help and rushes to the scene. A weasel bird hybrid looking ass thing is eating a cave raider. It mimics the cry for help and lures victims in. Out of nowhere, another one swoops in and grabs Riko. She passes out and a bunch more swarms Reg. After struggling for a bit, his body remembers that he has a cannon attached to his arm and incinerates everything in its path, almost burnt Riko to a crisp. Reg catches her and sees the destruction he has caused and begins to question himself. Riko wakes up with no clothes because Reg is checking for injuries. This tiny human doesn't get that Reg is obviously part human. She just took him as a full-blown robot with no bad intentions. intentions. I mean, he doesn't have it. It's not a good enough reason either. Anyways, Reg passes out from the hand cannon. After waking up, Rico prepared lunch, grilling the meat from a dead weasel bird that Reg killed, which bothered him, but Rico explains that it's the circle of life, baby. After that, they descend into the lowest parts of the second layer where everything is inverted. The place is windy and has no sunlight, which makes the area cold. Reg gives his coat to Rico for warmth and all of a sudden got attacked by monkeys, throwing shit at them. They escape their territory and begin the hike to Seeker Camp. Now at the bottom, the lift should have been lowered but didn't, so Reg shot his arm up but it's grabbed by Ozen. She recognizes Rico and lowers the lift, greeting them at the top. Rico thanked Ozen for carrying her to the surface, and so she replied with the most dead ass, "I don't give a f about you, that it was heavy thinking of abandoning you so many times, you piece of shit, casting me the bell that stops time. You think the letter from your mother makes it okay to enter my turf, you little shit. But I'm interested on how the you got here, so my assistant Rem will be interrogating you. Here's a blue whistle to blend in. P.S. You smell like dog shit. Go take a shower. I got work to do." So Rem brought them to their room and Rico went to shower immediately. After that, she brought some leftovers for dinner and benign conversations like, "I collapsed, Master Ozen took me in. Now I dedicate my life to her. Wow, I guess Ozen is actually a great person. Ha ha ha." Yeah, something like that. Rem wants to go cave raiding with them, but Rico can't because her mother is waiting. So Rem chose the next best thing, talking. Now everyone is in bed sleeping. Rico wakes up and is looking for the toilet. But instead of the toilet, she found a torso monster. She ran back into Reg's cover and peed herself. She's embarrassed and explained what happened. Suddenly Ozen appears and be like, "I guess no one has told you." "Told me what? You really want to know?" "Yes, I guess." "Alright then." "Follow me and you will see that your mom is in the graveyard." "But the letter?" "That's not what her handwriting looks like. Even if it's a joke, she wouldn't have written something like that. So what will be your reason to enter the nether?" "I want to see it for myself." "That's a great idea. Are you gonna dig up a grave when you're there?" "What's about Reg's origin?" "Okay, I see." Ozen opens the door to a chamber filled with books and a giant white cube. On the surface, Habbo is chatting with Nate and Shaggy about Ozen's rumors and her obtaining the white whistle 50 years ago. Habbo looks out the window and worries about Ozen telling the secrets of the curse-repelling vessel to Rico. Now walking closer to the white cube, Rico recognizes it as the curse-repelling vessel, but she's only half right. Ozen blows a whistle and opens the vessel. She explains that this relic is not what it is. She found out the true function of the vessel from Rico by saying the most up ever. She said that Rico is born dead and found her irritating, so he shoved her into the vessel and there's suddenly movement. The vessel doesn't repel curses, but instead it makes dead things move. So she got nostalgia from this mind and shoved her dinner into the vessel, and one half of it stopped moving after a while and the other half is the torso monster heading to the center of the abyss. So she starts asking real up to Rico like, "When will stop moving? Why are you instinctively heading to the abyss? You and that piece of meats are the same. I despise you." But my man Reg cuts in and stops her from continuing. In response, Ozen starts a new topic. "Do you have a conception of God? You see, people around here don't believe in gods. We believe in the abyss. And you, my boy, is not in the guidebooks, not because you are not discovered. It's because you shouldn't have even existed." So Reg ties Ozen up with his arms, but she's not phased, but instead she got more fascinated. She picks him up and tested his sturdiness by Hulk smashing him into the ground. Rico runs to stop it and is flicked away onto the wall, which makes Reg real angry. So he pulls out his trump card, the incinerator. Ozen is not phased, no shit. She's just having a conversation like, "Damn, you breathe and blink even though you're a robot? Amazing. Wow, what would happen if this brightest cannon hits Rico?" Reg deflects his arm and shots a hole through the camp. Ozen is admiring the damage and Reg took the opportunity and headbutts her into the wall, which reveals her scars and implants that gave her immense strength and long-lasting life. And while she's there, she puts on her costume and murders Reg. But it's alright, Ozen smashes the headband back into place and wakes him up from the coma. The other dudes are called to the scene by Rem to stop the fight, and in return she will be punished in the old school way. You know the saying, live long enough to see yourself becoming the villain? Yeah, Ozen is not the villain. She's a psychopath. This woman has lived too long. She doesn't give a shit no more. Because all of this is just an act to test him. Everything after the Rico shit is just a prank, bro. She justifies herself by saying that the creatures in deeper parts of the abyss are way more cunning and tougher than she is. As Ozen is about to leave, she tells Rico that the grave is empty. She dug it up and nothing is in it. She tells Rico that Liza is waiting and walks off, reminiscing the day that she met Liza. Kid Liza asks why is Ozen's hair shaped like that. She explains that mental trauma gradually becomes physical trauma if with your scalp and ruins your hair, leaving scars. So she found a way to arrange her hair that hides the scars and look natural. Kid Liza likes her hair and says that it's a proof of her fortitude. Plus, will be my mentor. The next day, Ozan brings Rico and Reg for some survival training, which is basically abandoning them in a dark forest for 10 days.